Hi, welcome to this video in which I'm going to compare the Prophet Rev2 to the Roland Juno 106. Why am I doing this? In April last year I compared the Rev2 to my Nordly 2X, and for my very small channel a lot of people watched it and commented on the video. Now something new came up. This came up. I got my hands on a Juno 106, an amazing classic synth from the 80s, which I always wanted to have. And again, those two are kind of similar. They are both polyphonic analog synthesizers with DCOs, not VCOs. I know. People told me in the comments last time. But there are obviously a lot of differences between these two. And I'm totally aware that this is not a clone of a Juno 106, and there are other synths which are probably much closer to it. But this is what I have. So that's why I want to compare these and see for myself if I need them both, or if I can do everything a Juno 106 does with this more modern synth, which has tons of features that Juno doesn't have. But as you probably know, a lot of people say that this has some kind of magic vintage sound, which we all love. Some people say that no matter what you do with the faders, it will always sound good somehow. Presets on this sound amazing. They have been used during the last 30, 40 years a lot, so it is definitely a classic. Back in the 80s, this was not the flagship synth for Roland. As far as I understand it, this is not a Jupiter 8 or something like this, so it was kind of affordable, and they were probably really affordable during the 90s, maybe early 2000s on the used market, but prices exploded, and you can get these on a used market for kind of the same price at the moment. So that's another reason why I think it could make sense to compare these. So let's get the obvious differences out of the way first. The Rev2 obviously has a lot more features. The Juno famously only has one oscillator with two waveforms. You have saw or square. You have also a sub-oscillator that's kind of a second oscillator, but it's always a square wave and it's always one octave lower. You also have noise. On the Rev2, you have a lot more options for waveforms, and you have this shape mod thing where you can change the shape of the waveform. So that's for pulse width, that's basically pulse width modulation, which you also have on the Juno 106. And you also have a sub-oscillator. I will come back to this in a second. You also have noise. You have the filter. You can modulate the filter with the envelope or with the LFO, and also with the keyboard range. Of course, you can do all this with the Rev2 as well. And the biggest difference here is probably that you only have one envelope on a Juno, which is for the filter and the amplifier at the same time. You can use the gate mode on the VCA, or you can of course not use it on the filter, but there's only one envelope on this machine. On the Prophet, you have your dedicated filter envelope and your amp envelope, and you also have a third auxiliary envelope, so that's a lot more. On the Juno we got one LFO, and you can route it to the DCO or to the filter. And that's it. Oh yeah, you can also add it to pulse width modulation. Pretty straightforward. On the Prophet you have 4 LFOs with different waveforms. You can route them, of course, to all the same things. And I think that's basically it. There's not much more to it. Oh well, there's one thing, which is kind of the magic ingredient of Juno sounds, which is obviously the chorus. So if you take a simple sound like this and turn this on, this is crazy. This is... The Prophet has a lot more features. It has a complete effects block, which also has a chorus in it. So, I mean, this definitely does its job. Let's try to replicate some sounds from the Juno on this. I don't have to go very far because preset 1.1 on Group A is basically one of my all-time favorite sounds. Yes. So how can we like reverse engineer sounds from here to here? So I can go back and forth between the original patch and my manual settings here. A little too much. That's a patch. That's what we have on the faders right now. I want to rebuild it here. I only need one oscillator. And I'm trying to get those knobs into a similar region. But we are kind of close. Close enough. This is a good sound. Now, final ingredient, the chorus. What can I do with the internal chorus here? So, honestly, I have no idea where I have to set rate and depth. Mix, probably 100%. That's too much. Maybe it's not 100% mix. Oh! Oh, but I like that. Okay, that's one of the sounds. Give me a second to find another one. Okay, so I have found the next patch I want to recreate here. It's a very famous sound, which you have probably heard in a song, which goes a little bit like this. Yeah, I couldn't resist. That's patch A63. And again, this is a two-step process. First, let's find out what's going on here by trying to nudge the faders into the right position and then recreate it over here. Go back and forth. Not quite there. So it's definitely modulated. Yeah, here we go. Okay, this is close enough. And I'm curious if this will work. I don't think I can use the sub oscillator here because it doesn't sound that great. So I will use the second oscillator. So switch oscillator 1 to our square wave and use filter. So pulse width modulation to the first oscillator. Easy as that. Not bad. Okay. Too much bass. This camera stopped working, but this is still going. I think it's good enough, isn't it? Yeah, second sound done. I'm going for a pad now. The Roland Juno pad. I've already dialed in the patch on the front panel, so this sounds pretty much the same. And now let's try to recreate it here. One of the things which could be a challenge is that we are using both waveforms on a Juno. And I don't think this is the same as using two oscillators, because this is just one oscillator with two waveforms. But the only way to do this here is use two oscillators. It's beautiful. This sounds completely different. Huh? Okay, it's kind of in the same ballpark now. I mean, it's a nice pad. And now this one is the chorus. The chorus is crazy. Okay. Let's add the chorus again. Okay, this still sounds thin. I don't know. This is where I don't know how to come up with this sound. Maybe somebody can help tell me how to achieve this two waveforms by one oscillator thing. Tell me why this sounds shitty if I put it exactly in the middle. It's definitely not the same. I mean, this is a nice pad. This is a nicer pad. Okay, so I think I'm gonna leave it with that. We tried to recreate 3 patches and it kind of worked. The last one not so much, but the others I was happy with them. Of course, I don't even have to ask the question. Of course, I don't want to get rid of one of these. They are, as I've said in the beginning, not the same instrument. This has so much more to offer. But this, I think there's a reason why this has been around for so many years and is still being used by professionals all over the world. So this will not leave my studio anytime soon. This will neither, because, as I said, there are many options. There's a lot I can do with this as well. Yeah, I think that wraps it up quite nicely. Thanks so much for watching. Please consider subscribing to the channel and giving this video a thumbs up. And see you in the next one. Bye.